a little while ago, my coworker Ben messaged me on Slack and said, hey, I've got this front door buzzer button that I don't want to have to walk up to hit. Can you think of any way to make it automatic? Something that I can remotely control. And I was like, I think I can do it with a solenoid. So here we have a solenoid, and obviously, you know, you need to be able to control that. My initial design had a couple of Arduino Unos with NRF transceivers. I don't remember the number offhand, but these transceiver boards are great, but they take up a lot of pins. So there's 7 pins in total, 2 of them being power, 3 3-volt and ground, and then 5 pins for communication. That's just a lot of pins to use, especially in a small, when you want to create a small package. Like if you want to use an Uno, that's perfect, but if you want to use something that has not as many pins, but still want to be able to control it, not a great option. And then in addition to that, he wants to be able to trigger it from his rooftop patio. So I said, well, maybe the solution is a particle photon that I can set up a webhook. Now, I followed a really simple tutorial from Core Electronics. I will include the link to that tutorial in the description, but you can see the circuit that they provided. And I have not the same transistor that they have in the image. So, make sure I looked up what kind of transistor I had. So I had the emitter, base, and collector legs correct. And then you run it, run the circuit over with you also need a diode. And in their circuit, they use a resistor along the signal line. But I found that it wasn't providing enough voltage to trigger the solenoid. So obviously I needed to, I didn't need to. I took the resistor out and it worked great. So I'm powering this particle photon using an external power supply, which also provides the power to the solenoid. Now, I don't have the webhook set up yet, but I do have the Particle app. And the Particle app is fantastic if you want to trigger pins on a photon. So here I have my photon. It's called Colab 3, and you open up Tinker. If it isn't available to you, you would flash Tinker to the device. So I have the connection is on pin 1. I'll set it to digitalWrite. You can see it is set to low. I'll set it to high, and that triggers the solenoid. Now the solenoid has just enough tension on it to push the button. I had Ben show me how hard he had to press it. So I'm within like 90% sure that it's going to work okay. So we just go back and forth, turn it on, turn it off. And what I had said to him was, you tell me how long you need to turn it on for, and I will just set it up to timeout. So it'll turn on the button press on a web page that'll be password protected, using a webhook to communicate with the particle. The particle will have code on it that says if this is, if button pressed equals high, which will come from the webhook, I'll go high on the pin for 3 seconds or 4 seconds, and then turn off. So it'll be automatic, and he can trigger this door buzzer from anywhere because it'll be a web page. Password protected, once again, password protected for his security. So he'll be able to be on his patio and let people in whenever he wants.